following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. It's time for the Sumner County Sports Podcast with your host, Zach Womble, as he gets ready for his national paper ball tournament. Just watch him at the end of the show. You want to watch through to the end of that. Hey, Spring Fling's coming up. He'll get you ready for that. Region sectional tournaments also this week. A lot to get to. Here's your host, Zach Womble.
1 o'clock here in the Mid-State, so you know what time it is. Time for the Sumner County Sports Podcast, your favorite part of the week. Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition. Joining me, as always, behind the scenes is our soon-to-be award-winning producer, JP Plant. I ask you each and every week, and I'm going to do it again today. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, rate, and comment on the podcast wherever you may be listening. You can follow us on Twitter at Main Street Preps, the show on Twitter at Sumner Sports Pod, and of course me on Twitter at Zach Womble MSP. You can also check us out on Facebook at Main Street Preps, the Gallatin News, Hendersonville Standard, and the Portland Sun. If you are watching us on YouTube, give us a follow at Main Street Nashville, where you will find a whole host of videos from Mornings on Main Street with Nashville's media darling Joe Dubin, Main Street Sports Today with Chris Yao, JP Plant, and Maurice Patton, as well as our entire library of podcasts, including yours truly. One last item of note before we dive into today's show: a huge thank you to the fans who tune in each and every week. Your support is greatly appreciated and the reason why I can do this. So I just want to say thank you so much. So, top headlines this week. I know you're wondering about them, so here they are. First up, Commandos win the district soccer title. That was on Tuesday night. You want to head on over to mainstreetpreps.com to check out my game story and Brett Burwager's award-winning photos from their 4-0 win over Hillsboro for the Commandos to set up their third match with Station Camp for the region title game. Hendersonville, 16-1-3 now, has had a heck of a season, but as Alex Tummons says, it all comes down to the final two games this week. We will actually hear more from the Hendersonville soccer coach later on, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Next headline is Station Camp Bison win the district softball title and Beach advances to the sectionals. Station Camp dominated its way to the District 10 4A crown, disposing of Beach 20-1 in back-to-back games for a combined score, but had a bad draw in the region semifinals, getting arguably the state's top pitcher to see their magical season come to an end in a loss to Wilson Central. Beach, however, upset Mount Juliet to advance to the region finals, where they will face Wilson Central tonight, Wednesday, at Wilson Central, and advance to the sectionals on Friday. Our final headline before we dive into our break and then our Alex Tummons interview is our Spring Fling Qualifiers. Now, this is a ton to get into so far with track and field and tennis, so what I'm going to ask you to do is head on over to mainstreetpreps.com to check out the full story. It gives you the highlights, the rundown of who's all's qualifying. But on the track side, we've got Merrill Hyde, White House, Station Camp, Hendersonville, and Beach athletes. And for tennis, on the Class A side, we've got Merrill Hyde boys, who are the defending champ. We've got Tobias Mandeville from Merrill Hyde singles, Eric Papa, Grant Koch from Merrill Hyde in doubles, Sophia Ramirez, Laura Ramirez in White House doubles. And then Class AA tennis, we've got Jackson Perry from Hendersonville on the singles side, and then Station Camp doubles partners Carter Rampton and Chase Etheridge. Again, I want you to head on over to mainstreetpreps.com, where I'll lay out the entire rundown of next week's Spring Fling qualifiers for track and field and tennis. It's a lot to get into. I don't have the seconds and time to get into it before I break, but like I said, head on over to mainstreetpreps.com where you can check out that full story. Stick around after the break as we welcome in Hendersonville soccer coach Alex Tummons to the show.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back into the Sumner County Sports Podcast. As I teased before the break, we were going to catch up with Hendersonville soccer coach Alex Tummons to talk about his team's success. Before we get into his interview, again, last night they were able to win 4-0 over Hillsborough High School, the District 10 3A runner-up who had lost to Antioch. Antioch hosted Station Camp yesterday, and Station Camp was able to get away with a 7-0 victory over Antioch. Now I'm drawing a blank on their school mascot, the Bears maybe. I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me on it. But either way, Station Camp and Hendersonville will do battle on Thursday night at Russ Plummer Stadium at Drakes Creek Park, 7 p.m. So if you got nothing else going on, if you've got just really, to be honest with you, even if you don't got anything else on, put all your other plans on the back burner. You're going to want to come out and catch this contest between these two teams. They've played twice already this season. Once ended in a 1-1 draw, and then the other one ended in a 4-2 commando victory for the District 10 crown. So excited to talk to Thomas to hear what he's got to say. Just on his team's season, his success, and kind of all their all-district selections. And with that, we welcome into the show Hendersonville soccer coach Alex Tummons. Tummons is a first-time guest here on the Sumner County Sports Podcast. So we want to say thank you, Alex, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hop on with us. How are you doing today?
Hey, Zach. Hey, doing well. First, I just want to thank you guys for all that you guys do at Main Street Prep for high school sports in this area. And I really do appreciate what you do for our kids and the exposure that you provide for our athletes and our team. So I really, really appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely, Tummons. It's a lot of pleasure for us, a lot of fun for us, whether it be me in Sumner County or the guys in Davidson, Williamson, and everywhere else in between. We enjoy covering high school athletics, and coaches like you make it easy for us to do that. But for first-time guest, Alex, I like to do a little bit of an introductory period. So for our listeners, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you grew up, where you went to school, your soccer background, and just what it means to you to lead a program that is so near and dear to your heart.
Yeah. So I'm from Hendersonville originally. Went to Hendersonville High School and played 4 years for Coach Plummer here. And then after that, I went and played at Belmont for 2 years and then transferred to UT where I got my degree in education. I got my master's in education, and then I was lucky enough to be hired here as an assistant coach and history teacher in 2015. And then 2 years ago, after Coach Plummer retired, I interviewed for the position and luckily was hired to be the head boys coach here at Hendersonville High School. So this is my second season. Like you said, this is a program that's very near and dear to my heart. Coach Plummer is a legend in his own right and laid the foundation. And I'm just trying to help to add on to what he had built. I'm very honored to be the coach here. I've always loved this school and this community. And most importantly, I love the kids that we have here. And it just makes, coaching here and teaching here that much more easy when you have the type of support we have from our parents and from our administration. And then again, like I said, having the student athletes that we have, it makes the job a lot easier.
Now, you mentioned that you finished off your career at UT. If I'm not mistaken, you are a Bama fan. So what was that like going up to school on the Hill, but rocking the crimson and white any chance you got?
Yeah. So when I made the decision to transfer from Belmont, I wanted to go to a bigger college. I wanted to be with my friends. And the in-state tuition was just too hard to pass up. And then once I got up there, I entered or applied and was granted into the master's education program. And so it's a great school and it was a great time. But I didn't wear much orange up there most of the time, so it was a little bit different. But I have a lot of friends that are diehard Tennessee fans, and I have a lot of friends from school up there. So Tennessee, I guess it's hard to say, but we'll always have kind of a dear place in my heart.
I get it. I won't hold it. I won't hold it against you that you're a Bama fan. I mean, I understand. But hey, Tummons, you spent a great deal of time with Plummer, as you mentioned, whether it be playing for him, coaching under him. As you said, I mean, he is a legendary soccer coach, not only at Hendersonville and Sumner County, but just in the state of Tennessee as a whole, and probably even the country. I mean, he's just been so well received among the soccer community. I'm sure you picked up a numerous amount of things from him. But is there anything that's really stuck with you that you learned from him that you use today?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the biggest thing about Coach, or one of the biggest things, and I could talk about Coach Plummer for a long, long time, is his attention to detail. His attention to detail and everything, I think, is one of the main things that sets him apart, and his work ethic. His work ethic is second to none. When I played for him, I didn't see necessarily everything that went on behind the scenes. And then when I became an assistant, I very quickly understood a lot that he does. And then now being the head coach, I even more understand that there's a lot more that goes into it besides practice and games. There's administrative work, there's laundry, there's mowing and lining, and, all those different things. But, his attention to detail, his care for others, and thinking of the broad picture, and thinking of, how his decision, how it affects others, and, all those things. That's something I'm trying to work on myself, is just attention to detail and making sure, we pay attention to the details, because if not, those are things that can kind of come up against you in the game, or come up and kind of lead to a loss or something like that. So his work ethic and attention to detail, I said, would be the biggest things that I picked up from Coach, among many other things, of course.
Yeah, there are a ton of things that you share. I think one of the things that stands out for me, and just in talking to you, that you share with Plummer, is anytime after a win, you always give credit to the boys, and after a loss, you always take the blame on yourself. I think that's pretty cool for a coach to just kind of display that character. You guys are district champs, and you're vying for a region title on Thursday, one game away from Spring Fling. What's kind of the feeling this morning when you wake up at Hendersonville and you get prepared for this practice session today, and then ultimately move into Thursday's game?
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting to be here. I think I told you last night, this is the first time this group has ever been in this position. We've never made it past in the last 4 years the region semifinals. So I was proud of the team last night. Our performance, wasn't the best, but we did take care of business, and so we're looking forward to another game against Station Camp, which is going to be a very, very tough task. But it's nice to be in this position, and it's exciting to possibly having the chance to go to the state tournament for the first time since 2010.
This senior class is pretty big. I think there's 10 seniors on the team this year, if I'm not mistaken. You spoke to, this is their first time being in this position to go to sectionals. Can you just speak to their development and helping get this program back on track?
Yeah, the senior class has done a lot of different things over the years. We've got a few boys that have started as freshmen, and then we have some other boys that played a lot of sophomores, and then we have some that maybe played most of the time as juniors, and then we have some that are playing now as seniors. The biggest thing for them, and I told them this the first day we met, was our leadership in the team is going to take us as far as we want. And so far, they've done a great job of being leaders on the team, and just being good teammates and loving each other, and keeping this the main focus for them. I give them a lot of credit. Right now they don't have school, graduations, on Friday, but they've done a good job of making sure to maintain focus and everything, and they've led by example. I can go down the list of all the seniors, and even guys that maybe aren't necessarily playing as much as some others are doing a great job on the bench, so they're just being good teammates and good brothers to their teammates. So I'm very proud of this class. We've come a long way since their freshman year, physically, mentally, and all other aspects as well. But it's going to be a class, hopefully, that kind of sets the tone from here on out for the younger boys and the guys coming in next year, that this is what Hendersonville soccer is supposed to be. We're supposed to be in this position
District awards were recently announced, and Hendersonville collected 3 superlatives with Midfielder of the Year and Christian Cornell, Offensive MVP, and William Becker, and yourself as Coach of the Year. You guys also got Desan Borer, Parker Ty, and Harrison Perry on the All-District team. Now 16-1-3 on the season. Only loss came to a very good CPA team that could make a run at the D2 finals. Why have those guys listed, along with maybe some others, been so great for you this year?
I think it's a variety of things. We're lucky enough to have some boys that stepped up this year that are allowing us to play in a formation that's conducive to our skill set and our talents. They've all just bought in. I mean, you mentioned the awards. William has had an unbelievable year. Christian is kind of our rock there in the center, kind of directs everything. Parker is an exceptional player. Dason just moved here from California this past summer. He's been a great addition that's allowed us to play with the 3-back system. The guys have just all bought in, and that's the main thing is, with our leadership and with the demands and the high standard we try to set here, they've all bought in and they've all just worked tirelessly to contribute. So I'm very proud of that group, and there's a lot of guys that didn't get recognized that definitely, in my opinion, deserve recognition just for the way they've played. Maybe some role players and things like that. And, even guys, like I said earlier, that aren't getting a lot of time, they've contributed in practice. They contributed, with enthusiasm and with encouragement for their teammates. So it's been a whole team effort. I think those guys would be the first ones to tell you that it's taken the whole team. It's not just, individual awards are great, but our favorite award on that night was obviously winning the district championship.
Most certainly. You're right. I think your team is littered with a lot of talented players. One you were able to get back last night, Chet Fretsch on the defensive third. What does he bring to your team, whether it be, intensity, just physicalness that maybe allows you to feel confident on that back line?
Yeah, we've been without Chet since really since the second week of April, and he brings a calmness. He brings confidence. He brings a force in the back. He's very good at winning 50-50s, balls in the air. He's a great communicator. He kind of just stabilizes us back there. Harrison Perry was playing in that role for him, and Harrison did an excellent job playing out of position for the last month or so and was really, really good back there. But it allows Harrison now to move up the field to where he's a little bit more comfortable. It allows him to be a little bit more creative and get more to the attack. So it's good to have Chet back, and we're lucky to have him. But again, I want to, thank Harrison for doing and stepping his role. And that's another thing that kind of wanted to mention too, is this team has done a lot of different things. We've had guys playing in different positions. We've had young guys step up. And so that's, I would say, would be one of the biggest contributors to our record so far, is we've had guys step up at different times and play maybe roles they're not comfortable with, but give effort and, try their best. And that's all I can ask for.
Always doing what it takes for the team. That's kind of also what I think outsiders notice as well for your group of guys. Listen, Alex, you guys are trying to make your first state tournament appearance since 2010, something that you're well aware of. You're either going to play Franklin or Brentwood in the sectionals, depending on how Thursday shakes out for both regions. But what do you know about either team, and what will it take for your end to punch that ticket to Spring Fling?
Well, fortunately, we scrimmaged Franklin and we played Brentwood about a month ago. With any Williamson County team, they're very, very talented. They're going to be well coached, and their teams usually get after it, and they have the experience. But, Brentwood is in the state tournament almost every year. Franklin was in the state tournament last year. Both programs have been very, very successful in the state tournament and as a whole. So we've got our work cut out for us. Obviously, we're focused on station camp, and that's going to bring a lot of problems for us as well. And that's a very tall task to beat them again. But like you said, the sectional game, it's one game. So regardless of the record, regardless of the talent, regardless of anything like that, you have 80 minutes to try to punch your ticket to the state tournament. So hopefully we can be competitive, and hopefully we can, make smart decisions and all those things to put us in the best possible position on Saturday.
Most certainly. Well, you're in it now, and congratulations, Tummons, just on all the success this year and just getting to this point. Like I mentioned last night, a lot of people may have said it was a foregone conclusion for your team to get here, but you had to put in the work to do that, and you guys did that. So, again, congrats on your success this season. Best of luck the rest of the way, and I will see you Thursday night.
All right. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Want to thank Alex Tummons for joining the show today to talk about his group. A fun team to cover, and I look forward to seeing how it all shakes out for the regionals and sectionals. Coming up after the break, we hand out our players of the week, dive into a little bit of baseball, and I close out the show with your favorite shot.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best-looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Nobody covers high school sports quite like Main Street Preps, bringing you hyper-local coverage of the teams and athletes in your backyard. Wherever your Main Street is, we got a podcast just for you. From the Sumner County Sports Podcast with Zach Womble, Casey's Take on Sports with Dixon Post and Cheatham County Exchange sports reporter Casey Patrick, the MSP North Podcast with Brady McAtamney and Blaine Keller, covering Montgomery and Robertson counties, to Main Street Preps this week with Russell Venozzi and Tyler Palmatier with a macro view of prep sports in Middle Tennessee. Find the latest prep sports news from your Main Street at mainstreetpreps.com and find these podcasts dropping weekly on these Main Street Media social platforms and wherever you get your podcasts. Now, back to the Sumner County Shot. Here's Zach Womble. It's coming, folks. It's coming.
It's coming. Make sure you stay tuned. Hey, I teased before the break that we were going to hand out our weekly Player of the Week award, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. It's been a Hendersonville Soccer Pro show today, and it stays that way as we hand our Player of the Week to William Becker, Hendersonville High School senior, who scored a hat trick in the Commandos' biggest game to date, which was the District 9 3A district tournament championship against Station Camp, where the team won 4-2 over the Bison. Becker did not score in the 4-0 win over Hillsboro in the region semifinal games, but he was all over the field, making passes, making good runs. Just couldn't break through. You know, Hillsboro, as I said in the story, received a red card like 7 minutes into the match, and so it changed their game plan from attacking to basically parking the bus and putting about 5-6 guys on that back line and making sure that Becker was marked at all times. But he's going to have a big impact on Thursday's game, and I got a feeling he's going to have a big impact in sectional Saturday, wherever that may be. So congratulations to Hendersonville High School senior William Becker on the award and scoring his hat trick 3 goals against Station Camp in the district championship game. Last item of note today before we go into extra innings, we've got Hendersonville baseball versus Mount Juliet tonight, Wednesday night at Drakes Creek Park, 7 p.m. on the Diamond for the Region 5 4A Championship. Now, both teams will advance to the sectional round on Friday, whether that be Ravenwood or Centennial, but the winner will earn the right to host. It has certainly been a special last season for Hendersonville skipper Mike Hendricks, and I know the boys in black and gold will want to win the region for him and advance to the state tournament for the first time since 2015. Come out, enjoy a nice night on the diamond, and see if the black and gold can bring home the region crown. Extra innings for you before we close out the show. I've been usually doing Tennessee baseball, but not so much this week as the boys in orange get set to go for the last series. But this week, Extra Innings is talking about region championship soccer Thursday, sectional Friday, baseball, and sectional Saturday. Pardon me, on sectional soccer Saturday with Merrill Hyde, whether that be on the road or at home, or Hendersonville and Station Camp. So it's going to be a busy week for me. And then Spring Fling gets ready to kick off next week with Tuesday. As I mentioned at the start of the show, we've got tennis and track and field action already set. And you're going to want to head over to mainstreetpreps.com to check out that full story. And then we will submit baseball, softball, and soccer later on this week. So I look forward to spending next week in Murfreesboro, but I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't looking forward to that Memorial Day holiday that kicks off vacation for me. You know, it's been a run for all of us sports reporters. So, you know, we've all put in hard work. But I look forward to the vacation. As soon as I leave Murfreesboro, I will not be leaving the golf course for at least a week as I try to hone my skills on the green. And so, you know, looking forward to it. But first up, like I said, we've got soccer championships Thursday, sectional Friday for baseball, softball, and then soccer sectionals on Saturday with Station Camp, Hendersonville, and Merrill Hyde. That will do it for today's show of the Sumner County Sports Podcast. You know what time it is. We've been teasing it all day. I've got the jump shot on that basket. I'm trying to crumble the paper nice and tight so that it flies. You know, I drained last week when JP called me Steph Curry. I had to pull out my Steph Curry skills. Let's see if I can continue the streak here. Little high this week. Little high. I didn't even hit backboard, so that's tough. But you know what? Try again next week.
This has been the Sumner County Sports Podcast with your host, Zach Womble. Follow him on Twitter at Zach Womble MSP and the show at Sumner Sports Pod. And, of course, always at Main Street Preps and online at mainstreetpreps.com. Sumner County Sports Podcast is a Main Street Media production.